Hey, Randy Joe here, and this is 1000 Reviews, a series where I plan on reviewing every single album from the 1001 Albums Listened to Before You Die book. And today we're looking at the Pet Shop Boys' 1990 album, Behaviour. Behaviour was released underneath the Parlophone label, produced by Harold Faulty Mayer, art direction Mark Farrow with nationality UK, and a running time of 49 minutes and 4 seconds. The Pet Shop Boys are a synth-pop duo, which doesn't really bode well for me personally, as generally I don't enjoy synth-pop. There hasn't been many synth-pop records that I have been able to click into, and I find most of the genre to be relatively boring. However, hopefully this Pet Shop's record will change my mind. Maybe this will be the first album I've ever heard in synth-pop that will turn me on to the genre, and here's hoping. This album is 49 minutes long with 10 tracks. So that being said, let's jump into the first track, Being Boring, which is the most popular track on here with 10.3 million streams at the time of recording this. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Nearly 7 minutes of synth pop. Ambient in tone. I like the synths on this so far. Very eerie vocals. Thematically, I'm enjoying this sort of introspective self-discovery sort of theme here, clearly alluding somewhat to the LGBTQ community and really coming into your own. I left from the station with a haversack and some trepidations, and we were never holding back, worried that time would come to an clearly lines like "Summer Here" and "Summer Missing" in the 1990s, and most of this track clearly dealing with being a homosexual at the time when they were somewhat shunned, and the AIDS pandemic was so, prevalent. I think it's clear that he's kind of referencing the AIDS virus and how he's lost a lot of friends along the way due to it. This is so far a brilliant song thematically and really engaging despite being somewhat down tempo. 6 minutes and 50 seconds long, very sweet. Doesn't feel like it drags out in any way despite almost being 7 minutes, and kind of turns things around in terms of me disliking synth-pop, as this is a pretty great synth-pop song that definitely feels a lot more introspective and deeper than what I've kind of come to expect from synth-pop and dance-pop in general. Great song, definitely not boring, but not as upbeat as one would expect. So I give that one an 8 out of 10. Good song. Next is This Must Be the Place I Waited Years to Leave. Really like the vocals. They're very soft and warm. Neil Tennant and Chris Lowe harmonizing great together. Still not sure what the message of this song is, though. I don't know, it's not really jumping out to me personally, but it seems like, if I were to guess, it's about being gay and not accepted and attempting to leave that place, but I'm not quite sure if that is the message here. When we fall in love, there's confusion. Reading into it has to deal more with the singer coming from a Catholic school and dreaming of getting out of there, or being back in that school at this point, and wanting to leave it, as I would imagine, especially knowing the themes of homosexuality in this so far. Catholic school, exactly, not the most accepting place, and overall just kind of forcing you to be somebody you're not. This one's the place I waited years to leave. I will give a 7 out of 10. On to the next track, To Face the Truth. Clearly a song about a cheating partner and not really wanting to accept the fact that they're cheating, not wanting to leave this person despite the fact that it hurts. They're willing to take that pain rather than confront it and remove that. You must be somewhere. Very melancholy song. The vocals on this are smooth, incredibly luscious, gorgeous, well produced. Just a brilliant performance overall, I would say, vocally here. Love it. What a moving track. Probably my favorite one so far. In fact, I'm gonna give that one a 10. I think that thing was pretty much flawless. Just very sweet and delicate. Very melancholy and depressing in tone. The instrumental, the synths were just very well produced. And just the pacing of every track so far, and this one included, has been very, quick. It doesn't feel like it overstays its welcome. So definitely enjoyed that. I will give this one a 10 out of 10, like I said. On to the fourth song. This is a very strong album so far. On to the fourth song, How Can You Expect to Be Taken Seriously? The shortest track on this album. The instrumental is much heavier, but I also feel like it falls into the more bland side for me personally of what I have an issue with is in synth-pop. I find most of this instrumental here to be just a bit more run-of-the-mill synth-pop and not necessarily too unique to stand on its own. The song alluding to somebody becoming famous and I think letting it get to their head. But so far though, a bit more run-of-the-mill. Oh, I like that. It's picking up a lot more in terms of breaking out of what I didn't like about the track. I love the lyrics, so snide in its delivery, so almost kind of poking fun at this major artist who is now, I think, selling out to achieve some sort of fame that isn't really themselves. I think it's an overall very snarky sort of track here so far, and I really like just the oozing sort of personality and tone coming through the singer's voice and delivery here. Tell me, baby, how you seriously. Okay, apparently that song is about Wendy James, singer of Transvision Vamp, but very snarky, very snide in their delivery here. Clearly not fans of her image, I should say, and selling out in general. I think that is the message of that one. But yeah, love that track. Actually, it grew on me a lot as it went. It really grew on me. At first, I wasn't enjoying the instrumental. As I complained, it felt kind of run-of-the-mill for synth-pop. but I feel like it really starts to pick up, and the message of the song and the snarkiness of the delivery is what really makes this thing. So I'd give that one a 9 out of 10. On to the fifth track, Only the Wind. Not feeling this one as much. I do like the atmosphere of it, but I do like the piano. But other than that, this song's feeling a bit more iffy to me. Probably the weakest song so far. Didn't love it, didn't hate it. Felt pretty just kind of iffy overall with that one. I'm gonna give it a 5. Just a 5. Probably gonna be the lowest song so far, but for now I'm feeling a 5. On to the next song, My October Symphony. 1.3 million streams, so it is higher than most on here. Let's get it. 5 minutes. Quite the opening. There's a lot of atmosphere in this album so far. The production and the stylistic choices here have a lot of atmosphere, which is always a nice plus to a track. But again, I don't know if it's just because, again, this genre isn't specifically for me, or if it's just the album itself, but it's not wowing me as much as it did at the start. But maybe that'll change. The strings in the background are gorgeous. It's a nice nod to the symphony element of this track, so that's always a plus. Change. Who is that? I believe that's Jay Henry on the backup vocals here, really elevating things to another level here. These strings, by the way, are also fantastic. I definitely want to give props to that. You know, this song does sort of pick up as it goes on, which I feel like is most of how this album is. It's kind of, each song starts off a bit slow and picks up halfway through, I would say, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just means it takes time to develop. Apparently this song has to do with the October Revolution, which is a important part of the general movement that instituted the Soviet Union, the first ever socialist state. I don't know enough about it to really get into that. However, an interesting topic for sure, and very clearly politically driven track. That's a symphony that they're talking about. What a way to ride out a track. Amazing outro. I'm going to give that song an 8 out of 10. It really grows on you as it goes on, which is a huge plus given the runtime of it being 5 minutes. Doesn't fall flat, definitely diversifies itself quite a bit. You know, I definitely think with more listens, that one will grow on me even more. Good song though, 8 out of 10. On to the 7th song, the second most popular on the album, So Hard, with nearly 4 million streams at the time of recording this. Let's get into it. Sci-fi sounds. We're going into the dance pop route now. Slowing things down. Super upbeat song. The most upbeat on the album. This is a very enjoyable song. Oh, I like that. The backup vocals really underlying the track here elevate it so much more. Broken hearts have never been so fun. That's 10, that's 10, that's 10. That's a perfect song. That's such a wow. That's a 10. That is so much fun. For a song about what I can guess, I mean, I was having too much fun, but for a song about broken hearts, and the lyrics seeming more melancholy, super upbeat, extremely fun, very synthy, very poppy, very just engaging. On to the 8th track, Nervously. The lead singer on this album, Neil Tennant, is great. I love this. I'm gonna add that one to my like songs. I'm not even gonna say, I'm gonna keep my thoughts till the end. Okay, that one goes into the next, but I want to say Nervously is a brilliant song. I just feel like it's kind of as if it is a slowing things down track, especially after So Hard, which was so upbeat. Slowing things down feels angelic. The vocals, the whole instrumental, the atmosphere of it just feels so elevated. I'm going to give that one a 10. Second half of this record, significantly stronger than the first half. Not that the first half was bad, but the second half has been pretty much just perfect with every single song. On to the 9th track, The End of the World, 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Let's go. This one's easing into it. And just like that, it picks up a slight step down from the last 2 tracks. I don't have much to say about this song. Nice outro though. Not too much to say for that one. Not particularly my favorite. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 though. Now on to the final track, Jealousy, 1.3 million streams. Let's see how they close this thing out. A high note or low note? I like the themes of this one. The themes of jealousy being so strong that you wish you never even met the person. Almost feels like it's going back to the 3rd track, To Face the Truth, with its themes. Going back to what I said before, his vocals are very clean and very warm and very welcoming. It's like a warm hug. Is that a harp? Ending things on a high note. Like everything clashing together. What a beautiful outro. What a gorgeous, luscious, full, and just vivid outro there, with the strings really coming in strong along with the horns. A great finale to the album. A great track, great way to end off this album. I'm gonna give that one a 10 as well. I think the ending especially is just so vivid and gorgeous that is easily one of the nicest ways to end off an album. So I give that a 10 as well. So overall, this is a pretty strong synth-pop album, especially since I don't generally like synth-pop. Look at my New Order review, for example. Again, it's not a genre that I can typically get into, and I feel like what this album does that most synth-pop records manage to lose me with is that this album is a lot more introspective, a lot more thematically interesting, and doesn't feel like it's focused purely on the dance elements. Not that it isn't without its bangers. For example, So Hard is a very dancey and powerful track, but it also has a lot of tracks here that slow things down, like Nervously, straight after So Hard, which is a great, beautiful, angelic-like track. So this album is quite diverse with its sound and doesn't feel like it is one-dimensional with its themes. Pet Shop Boys managed to do the unthinkable and kind of change my opinion a little bit on synth pop and dance pop in general, as again, this sort of execution is definitely to my liking. I give this album an 8.4 soft rating out of 10, but I will harden that rating to a 9 out of 10. I think this album is just very cohesive and very strong. Jealousy sort of feeling like it harkens back to the 3rd track, To Face the Truth, and its themes. And honestly, the weakest track on here, Only the Wind, really as weak as I felt it was, probably would grow on me with more listens, and I feel like it's just a turning point for the second half of the album, which is just pure perfection in my opinion, pretty much from track 6 to 10. So hard rating 9 out of 10. And I would also go ahead and say that this is an essential record, as again, for the reasons I've already said. It is a pretty fantastic and brilliant synth pop record that manages to avoid the common tropes of the genre. So go ahead and give that one a listen. Anyways, that pretty much does it for this review. Let's see what the next album you're listening to is in the 1001 albums listened to before you die book. Random number generator 1 to 1001, generate 53, which is the album John Coltrane's A Love Supreme. I've already heard it, so I know exactly what I'm going into. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe if you want to follow along and listen to every single album from the 1001 albums listened to before you die book. And as always, my name is Randy Joe, and I'm signing off.